Good afternoon. Welcome to Gentle Yoga. I'm Kristen, offering this from Olympia, Washington. Thank you for joining me from wherever you are. We are doing a gentle yoga class together today, and so I consider this a level 1 class, and so please honor your body's wisdom as we move through our asana practice and offer yourself modifications and variations so your body is most comfortable. Not taking it to that place of pain or discomfort with your stretching, so if you get into that place, then gently back out of the stretch and offer yourself some other modification. If you haven't done my classes before, we're going to start off with some breathwork and meditation. I'm going to offer some live sound healing while you do the breathwork and meditation, and then we'll move into our asana practice, and then I will also end with about a 5 or 7 minute Shavasana with sound healing at the end. We are going to start our asana practice seated, but you're welcome to come onto your back if you'd like to be on your back for breathwork and meditation. So settling into your body, take some time to make adjustments and movements to see if you could be even more comfortable. And if you're comfortable to close your eyes, close the eyes, or just focusing on a stationary point in the room that you're in or the screen. Let's take several moments to land into this present moment by simply arriving to the rhythm of your own breath and breathing cycle, sensing the expansion of your inhalation and the release of your exhalation. So taking several rounds of breath to simply notice the cycle. Where does your body expand as you take a breath in? Sensing, does the belly lift? Does the diaphragm expand? Can you sense your breath in your back body? And then notice with each exhalation how everything releases back towards the spine, an essence of letting go and surrender. So nothing to do but simply be with your own breath. With each inhalation, inviting a sense of relaxation to flow into the body and the mind. And with each exhalation, continuing to relax and release, letting the morning go and settling into now. I'm going to offer a relaxing body scan, and as I say these areas of your body, see how best you can relax and soften, letting go of tension, letting go of emotions that no longer serve you, and anything else you're ready to let go of. Start by relaxing in the forehead and the face, releasing the jaw and the tongue. Relax the neck and the shoulders, letting that relaxation flow down into the upper arms, into the elbows and wrists, and out the palms of the hands and the fingertips. Coming back to your front body, relax again in the shoulders. Go into your front body, relax the pectoralis muscles in the chest. Relax the diaphragm and the belly. And then on to your back body, relax the shoulders and the shoulder blades. Softening any tension in your upper back. Down into the mid-back. Relaxing into your low back. And all the way down into the sacrum. Relax the hips and the glutes and the pelvis, and then letting that relaxation flow into the thighs and the upper legs, down into your knees, into the calves and ankles, and out the soles of the feet and the tips of the toes. Relaxing, releasing, and letting go. Where you can relax a little bit more with your next breath. And then from here we'll work closer with the breath, moving into a pranayama exercise. We're going to work with a balancing breath by inhaling for 3 counts and exhaling for 3 counts. If you have a clear nasal passage today, working with your breath in and out the nose, I'll do a couple rounds with you, and then you can continue to work with this breath on your own. We'll begin together. Inhaling 3 and exhale 3. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Continue in this way. Count the breath in your mind. 1, 2, 3 as you take a breath in, and 1, 2, 3 as you take a breath out, helping to guide the mind to stay with the breath. We'll incorporate this breath for 2 minutes. Inhale for 3 counts and exhale for 3 counts. Breath with the meditation, with the breath work. And with your next exhalation, release the breath work, returning back to the natural rhythm of your own breathing. And here we're going to move into a simple meditation. On your inhalation, mentally affirm here and now. And on your exhalation, mentally affirm present moment. Other thoughts may come to the mind, letting them pass and coming back to the meditation. Here and now, present moment. For 2 minutes, make any adjustments. Your body could be more comfortable. 3 more rounds of breath of the meditation. Upon your next exhalation, we'll release the meditation, once again coming back to the breath. Take a moment to sense any changes in the body or the mind. From here, we'll take the hands to the heart center in Anjali Mudra. Bow slightly to the hands as you bow to yourself, honoring yourself for taking time out today for self-care, health and wellness, and letting this time be a gift and opportunity to consciously and positively connect to your body and breath. All embrace a gentle acceptance for our intention today, and remembering that our intention is the energy that we'll hold for our practice rather than the goal and our hope for outcome. So gentle acceptance, and may this awareness ripple out into the universe. We'll slowly begin to release. So if you were on your back for breathwork and meditation, make some gentle movements. Roll to one side and transition yourselves up to seated. And if you stayed seated for your meditation, we'll extend our legs out so we can shake out our knees a little bit. And then take your feet wider than your hips if you're on a yoga mat out towards the side edges of the mat. The hands will come behind us, fingertips pointing towards your body, and I'm kind of leaning into the heels of the hands, slight bend in the elbows, and then just simply sway the legs side to side like windshield wipers on a car. Releasing our hips from our cross-legged position, remembering to honor your body's wisdom throughout our practice, offering yourself modifications and variations, as well as taking it to the pace and rhythm that feels best to you. If I'm moving too fast or too slow, accommodate that for yourself. Good, the next time your legs land over to your right side, let's release them to the floor for a double knee down twist. Gazing down to your left hand, sensing your breath. Inhale, head and knees back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Legs to the left as you gaze down towards your right hand. Good. Inhale, head and knees back to center. Coming to a comfortable seated position. If that's cross-legged, great. That can be easy sit pose, just a simple cross-legged. You can be full half lotus. Or if you need to, you can extend one or both legs out so that your hips, knees, and body is comfortable. Take the palms facing down on your knees, finding that nice tall spine. You can imagine you've got a little string being tugged from the crown of your head. Moving into a cat-cow flow. So keep reaching through the crown of the head, palms facing down on the knees. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, press your body behind you. Press that spine directly behind you as you tuck the chin to the chest, arching back to cat back. With your inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, heart will lean forward, gaze up to the ceiling and cow spine. Exhale back to cat back, and inhale into cow spine. So continue in this way, moving with your breath, beginning to gently awaken in the spine, giving our immune system a sweet boost, and also beginning to open and warm in the heart center. As we begin to open in the heart center, opening yourself to self-compassion, self-acceptance, and self-love. 2 more with your breath. Good. Returning back to center. Settle onto the sits bone so that the core muscles are engaged. Half moon Artichon Jawsana. We'll start with our hands alongside our hips. Inhale the arms overhead into temple, extending in your index fingers. Exhale as you reach over towards your left side. So now right sits bones rooted to the mat. My head is between the elbows as best you can. And if you need to, you could bend the elbows, but try to keep the head between the arms. Inhale, return to center, re-lengthening through the crown of your head, re-reaching through the index fingers as you re-lengthen in the spine. With your next exhale, shifting over to your right side. So continue in this way. As you come to center with your inhale, just take a moment to re-lengthen in the spine, and then shifting over to the side. So we're lengthening and opening in the side waist and the side body. Both sits bones stay rooted to the floor. And now we're going to shift into a side bend flow. So next time you come to your left side, let the left hand come down as you reach over towards with the right arm, and then shifting over to the other side. So just side bend flow. Getting a little deeper opening in the side waist and the side body. Move with your own breath. Next time you come to your right side, let's hang there together for several breaths. So my top palm is facing the floor. Try to let that top shoulder soften down the back body. And it doesn't matter how far away the right hand is reaching away from the body on the floor. Just comfortable. Really root that left sits bone, sensing your breath. Inhale, return to center. Exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. Relax the jaw and the face. One more breath. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, walk the hands out for a simple seated forward fold. So arms can be extended from the body. Maybe you've got the flexibility to come down to elbows or a couple fists on top of each other, rest the forehead upon. Some students come all the way down to the floor. So it doesn't matter how far we're reaching. We just again want to keep the sits bone rooted to the mat. We're not lifting the buttocks off the floor here. So when you find your forward fold, here we're also going to let the body take shape of the pose. So let your shoulders round, let the head hang. You can gaze down to the floor for neck alignment. And then once you get settled, practice relaxing in your hips and your glutes. Releasing and letting go where you can. Begin to send some breath down into the low back and the hips. Four more nice deep breaths. Good, one more full breath cycle. And with your next exhalation, walk the hands back towards the body. Take a glance down at the legs. We're going to bring the opposite one in front. So extend the legs out, shake out your knees a moment, and then bring your opposite leg in front so we keep the hip flexors evened out. We're going to do a twist flow. So start with your hands alongside your hips. Settle back to the sits bone, sensing your core muscles engage. Lengthening through the crown of the head, and we'll begin. Inhale the arms overhead, gaze up to your hands. Exhale, right hand lands at the left knee, left hand comes behind you. Exhale over your left shoulder. Flowing side to side a few more times. Inhale, return to center, gaze up if that's okay. Exhale, twist over to the right side. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you, twisting to the other side. Continue in this way. Move with the breath. A few more, just showing different views. Next time you're looking over your left shoulder, let's hold there together for several breaths. So that hand behind you, those fingertips can point away from your body. And I kind of just bring my fingertips to the floor. You could also bring the palm to the floor. But avoid leaning into that back hand. We mostly want to stay on the sits bones here. We're just having that hand behind us for a little guidance and a little support, not leaning back there. So still find that nice tall spine for 2 more breaths. Inhale the arms back overhead at center, look up to the hands. Exhale, twist over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. Keep reaching to the crown of the head as you continue to lengthen in the spine. Shoulders releasing away from the ears. Deep, sweet breaths here. Three more breaths. Breathe into the back body and spine. Inhale the arms back overhead. Exhale, float the arms down into shoulder circles, finding that full rotation, your own shoulder girdle. And reverse directions, opposite way. Good, and release, settle back to the sits bones. We're going to inhale the shoulders up to the ears, exhaling with a H-A, ha, as we let them release back down. 3 rounds of that. Inhaling the shoulders up. Exhale, release. 2 more. Last one. Good. Take the shoulders back up to your ears. Roll them behind you and soften down the back body. Keep shoulders behind you. We'll return our palms facing down, back to our knees. And we'll exhale the right ear to the right shoulder. Inhale gently back to center. Exhale over to the left side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take the chin towards the chest. Inhale back to center. Exhale, gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale back to center. Exhale, look over your left shoulder. Inhale, return to center. Exhale over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, tilting left ear towards left shoulder to hold. So tilting that ear towards the shoulder rather than lifting your shoulder to meet the ear. Sit back on your sits bones so you can sense the core muscles engage, and then reach the muscles on the right side of your neck up towards the ceiling for a little isometric stretch, lengthening out the muscle fibers of that cervical spine. Relax your jaw and face as you breathe into the neck and shoulders. If you'd like to increase in that stretch, extending your right arm out to the side, fingertips near the floor. Hand comes back to the knee. Inhale the head gently back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. Good, and if you'd like to increase in that stretch a little bit, extending your left arm out to the side, fingertips near the floor. Deep, sweet breaths here, breathing into the neck and the shoulders. 3 more breaths. Good, bring the hand back to the knee. Inhale the head back to center. Exhale, take your chin towards the chest. And then inhale as you roll the left ear towards the left shoulder. Exhale, sweep the chin towards the chest over to the other side. So let's go a few more times. Inhale to one side. Exhale to the other, making a smile over the heart. One more in each direction. And then we're going to go opposite direction. So come back over. We're going to pretend we've got a little paintbrush on the end of our nose, painting an arch or a rainbow going side to side. And here we're stretching the back of the neck in a mindful way, protecting in the vertebra. But still make sure this feels okay to your body. Good, one more to each side. Take the head back to neutral. We're going to do 3 integrating breaths here. Try to invite your breath all the way up into the shoulders of the neck. 3 integrating breaths. Eyes can be opened or closed. Big breath in. Bring your next breath all the way into the shoulders and the neck. Big inhale. One more nice deep breath. Good. Extend your legs out. Shake out your knees again. And then bring your legs to a simple V. We're going to do just a little bit of hamstring lengthening and brain balancing. If you need something underneath your heels, take a blanket or towel or something underneath the heels of your feet so that's a little more cozy. And then take your arms out to a T. And all we're going to do to start is we're going to make sure our sits bones are rooted to the floor. And then we're going to shift the torso so the right hand comes towards the left foot and left hand comes towards the right foot. Now you don't need to touch the toes, we're just intending in that direction. So as we cross the center midline of the body, we're balancing the left and right hemisphere in the brain. And if you can keep your sits bones rooted to the floor, you'll begin to notice the lengthening in the hamstrings, and maybe the adductors, the inner thighs, and just the muscles in the backs of the legs. Taking it as fast or as slow as you'd like. A couple more times to each side, and then we're going to hold for a hamstring adductor stretch. Next time you come to your right side, let's hang there together for several breaths. So here we're going to invite more of a flat back. Our initial forward fold, we were rounding the shoulders. Let's take the shoulders to the back body. Your hands can come alongside your right thigh, knee, calf. Maybe you take it to the toes, but the toes are not the goal here. Just lengthening in the back of your own leg is the goal. I've got my left sits bone rooted to the floor. You could take a strap also across that foot if that is of support to you. So see how you want to engage with this fold here, noticing adductor stretching the inner thighs and the hamstrings behind the legs. Notice your hips and your low back, and then come back to your breath. With your next exhalation, we're going to walk our hands towards center. We're going to stay at center. We'll just have the arms away from the body. Again, you could come down to elbows. You could come further down if that is accommodating for your body, but keep your sits bones rooted to the mat. You can almost even tilt your pelvis down towards the earth. So again, engaging musculature in the belly. Stay with your breath. Keep inviting shoulders to stay on the back body. Two more breaths. Stay with your body, stay with your breath, stay with your experience. With your next exhale, walk the hands over to your left side. Hands come alongside the thigh, the knee, the calf, rooting both sits bones to the floor, shoulders releasing to the back body, inviting more of your heart and your belly towards the leg. Deep, sweet breaths here, relaxing where you can. One more full breath. With your next exhale, we're going to come back to center. This time we're going to take the hands to the ankles if you can. If you can't, they can be under the knees. But let's just see if we can come back to that center with in a little bit deeper way, but nothing obviously that's uncomfortable. But when we can really open here, you'll feel that more potentially adductors in the inner thighs. Keep rooting sits bones to the floor so core muscles stay engaged. Two more breaths here. Good, then just walk your hands up the legs, bring the torso back up, take the hands, bring the legs back towards each other, and then just shake out your knees for a moment. And then we're going to transition to hands and knees. So if you need any support underneath your knees, grabbing some kind of cushion for yourself. And if you need support underneath the wrist for any reason, you could roll up your mat underneath the heels of the hands or something else, a cushion or a towel if you need that support. You could also just take your hands into fists, okay? So here in table, take your belly button towards your spine so we can engage the core, and that will help protect our low back. Cat-cow flow. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, begin to arch your body up to cat back. Press the spine towards the sky. Lift the belly button towards the spine. So when we're in cat back, we are engaging our core muscles. Inhale into cow. We'll lift the tail and the gaze. Let the belly soften towards the earth. Exhale, arch up into cat back. And inhale into cow. Continue in this way, cat-cow flow. One of my favorites. I do this so many times throughout the day, seated or on hands and knees, but it just really opens up the spine. Good, 4 more with the breath. Remember, softening, relaxing belly in cow and engaging belly in cat. Good, last one. Bring back to neutral spine at table. We're going to walk our hands forward to puppy or up dog. Half dog, excuse me, not up dog. So arms are extended from the body. If you can, take your forehead to the floor and keep your arms extended, and then we lift our sits bones towards the ceiling just like we do in downward dog. So we're getting the lengthening of the spine here as we do in down dog, but we get to be on hands and knees. If that arm extension doesn't work, you could take yourself down to your elbows and let your head hang lower than your pelvis. You could also take a block or some kind of support underneath the forehead to shorten that distance. Okay, so see which variation feels good for your body. For 4 more breaths, try to breathe into the back of the heart and the spine. And then walk your hands back towards your body. We're going to come into a wrist stretch. So if you can, sit back on your heels. If that's uncomfortable for your body, you could be up on your knees, or you could just kind of offset onto a hip. If you want to take it further and do a fascial foot stretch, tuck those toes under. And then we'll take our fingertips together, rotate the wrist around in circles. Good, reverse directions. All right, we're going to come back to hands and knees. We're going to do a little shoulder opener. We did some hip openers last week. So we're going to take that right side. We're going to inhale our right arm up, gaze up to the ceiling if you can, and then thread that hand through over onto your right shoulder. And we're going to do that a few times. So inhale, come up. Look up if you can. And exhale, let that arm slide over to the right shoulder. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, threading through. And we're going to hold here for several breaths. So that left arm can be at a 90-degree angle. Let that wrist be below your elbow. I'm going to switch my angle so that I can see a little better. Okay, so starting with that wrist under the elbow on that left arm. I'm on my right side of my head and my right shoulder. Kind of my big toes come towards center here on the floor. And then stay here. A variation 1 would be to extend your left arm into the air. Variation 2, take that to your sacrum. Variation 3, tuck your left hand into the right hip for a little twist. So see which variation feels good here. You can even just keep that hand on the floor the whole time. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Good, we're going to slowly unravel the arm. Come back to table, into cat-cow. This time we're going to inhale, cat back. Exhale, cow. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Back to table. And now we're going to inhale our left arm up. Gaze up to the hand if you can. And then exhale as you thread through, coming onto that left side of your head and the left shoulder. Inhaling up. Threading through. 1 more time. Inhale up. Switching positions and threading on through. Okay, so we're on our left shoulder. That right hand again, wrist under elbow. That's a good place to start. Breathing into the back of the heart and the upper back. Variation 1, extending your right arm into the air. Variation 2, take the hand to your sacrum. Variation 3, tuck your right hand into your left hip. Find which works for you for 3 more breaths. Good, slowly unravel. Coming back to table, once again, cat-cow. Inhale, cat back. Exhale, cow. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Come back to center. We're going to come into Balasana, child's pose with widened knees. So take your knees wider than your hips. Big toes will come towards center. We're going to release back to Balasana with widened knees. Arms can be extended in front of you. They could be alongside your body. You could stack a couple fists to rest upon. Finding your comfortable child's pose, and once you settle, try to yield all of your weight into the earth as you sink into the breath. 7 more nice deep breaths. Breathing into the hips, shoulders, and low back. Three more nice deep breaths. Good. With your next exhale, we'll gently release. Walk the hands back towards the body. Bring the knees back towards each other. We're going to come back to table pose. We're going to do some hip opening and low back openings. We're going to start on our right side. We're going to exhale as we tuck the chin towards the chest. And then inhale as you extend that leg behind you, gazing forward. Try to keep your leg in alignment with your hip rather than lifting it higher towards the ceiling. Also try to square the pelvis to the floor and lift your belly button towards the spine. So we want a flat back here. We don't want to have a banana arch. So try to have that flat back as we continue here. Exhale as you tuck. Inhale as you extend. Three more. And then let's hold with your next leg extension. Let's hold there for a couple breaths. I'm going to scoot up a teeny bit. So you can point those toes. Again, belly button to the spine. Try to flatten the back. You can gaze down to the mat to keep your neck in alignment with the spine. Just one more breath here. Good. Exhale, release. And then we'll take that over to our left side. Exhale as you tuck the knee and the chin towards the chest. Inhale as you extend that leg behind you, gazing forward. Okay, continue to square your hips to the floor. Engaging core by lifting belly button towards your spine. And coordinate your movement with the breath. Two more. Last one. Good. Come back to table, and now we're going to hold in balancing sunbird, and then we're going to hold in balancing half moon. So start by extending right leg back behind you, and then if you can, extend your opposite left arm in front. Balancing sunbird. Variation if you'd like, grasping right ankle with left hand. One more breath, whichever variation you're in. Exhale back to table. And then balancing sunbird, extending left leg back behind you. Right arm in front. Breathing, balancing, building strength. Staying here if you want to try the variation, grasping left ankle with right hand. One more breath, whichever variation you're in. Exhale, release. Back to Balasana with widened knees. Big toes will come towards center, taking several nice relaxing breaths. Breathing again into the low back and the hips. Relaxing as best as you can. Three more nice deep breaths. Good, walk the hands back towards the body. We're going to do another wrist stretch before we move into half moon. So find your most comfortable position for your wrist stretch. I'm going to do the fascial foot stretch, tucking toes under. This time we'll interlace our fingers, making figure eights with hands and wrists. And reverse directions, opposite way. Okay friends, I just want to show you Artichon Jawsana half moon on hands and knees. So we're going to start like we do in sunbird. We'll extend our right leg back behind us. And then here's where I take my hand more underneath my face so that I can begin to stack the right hip on top of the left. Here you could have a block, pillow, or a cushion. But the main goal of half moon is to stack the hips on top of each other. So that might be your only goal. And that might be where you get to today. Maybe you're wobbling and balancing. Maybe your foot's still on the floor here and you're trying to stack the hips on top of each other. You could lift that leg into the air. You could have your arm into the air. So lots of variations here. Okay, so finding which one's going to work for your body in this moment on each side, because we're balanced in different ways. So again, start by releasing that right leg back behind you, and then stack your hips on top of each other, rolling that right hip on top of your left. Again, tuck the tail a little bit. We want to engage these lower belly muscles, the transversus abdominis over the pubic bone. That's going to really support stabilization here. Hand can come to a block, hand can come to the hip, arm can extend to the air. 2 more balancing breaths, whichever variation you're in. Hand comes back to the hip. We're going to return back to table. 3 cat-cows before we move to the other side. This time inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. All right, friends, we're going to take half moon to the other side. So now extend your left leg back behind you. Begin to stack your left hip on top of the right. So I move my right hand kind of underneath my face so I can stack my hips on top of each other. Yes, we can be wobbly. We're building strength. Hand can come to a block. Hand can come to your hip. Arm can extend to the air. Tuck that lower belly a little bit so we're engaging those core muscles. 3 more balancing breaths wherever you are. Good. Take the hand back to your hip. Come back to table. 1 last time, Balasana, child's pose. Widen the knees if you want, or you can stack right over the legs. Nice deep breaths here. Three more nice deep breaths. Mentally affirm, my body is healthy and strong. Good, begin to walk the hands back towards the body. Take the knees back towards each other. We're going to come onto our backs. We're not going to go to our feet today. So turning onto the back and transitioning onto the floor. All right. So once you make your way onto the back, we're going to take our feet wider than our hips out towards side edges of a mat if you're on one. Arms will extend out to a T, palms to the floor. Press your shoulder blades into the floor. Keep the head forward. And we're just going to sway the legs side to side. And just practice self-sensing here. How does your low back feel? How do your shoulders feel? How does your neck feel? Sensing changes or differences than before we began today. And just notice what you notice. Let's shift into a twist flow by looking in the opposite direction of our knees. As your legs land over to your left side, look to the right hand, and then exhale legs to the left as you look to the right hand. Good. The next time your legs land over to your right side, let's release them to the floor for a double knee down twist. Look in the opposite direction of the knees as best as you can. Just allow the weight of your legs to release towards gravity. If that's too big of a stretch, stack something between the knees or underneath that lower knee. Breathing, relaxing, releasing. Inhale, head and knees back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. One more nice deep breath. Inhale, head and knees back to center. Keep the knees bent, but bring the feet hips distance apart. So lining your ankles below your knees, we're going to do Keyhole Pose. So start by taking your right ankle bone to your left thigh bone. So this might be just enough of a hip opener, just like this. So stay here. Second variation would be to take something underneath your left foot. Prop something underneath your left foot. Third variation is just to take that left knee towards the chest. Last variation is to thread the hands through to either the top of the knee or underneath the knee along the hamstrings. We do want to be able to keep the shoulders and the head on the floor. I've seen some students that want to get up to the knee and they're shaking and their head and their shoulders are off the mat. Let's relax a little bit more here.
and not take so much effort. So if you can't get to the top of the knee, awesome. If you can't even get to the hamstrings, awesome. The goal here is a hip opener on our right side, particularly that piriformis. So when you feel a stretch there, then hang there, whichever variation that feels good in. You might want to lift your chin to give that nice curvature to the cervical spine. You might want to tuck the chin. See what feels good to the neck there for you. Breathing into the hips. And then let's flex both feet to slightly increase that stretch for the last 3 breaths. With your next exhalation, we'll gently release. Take both feet to the floor, ankles together, knees together. Just rock the legs out a little bit to each side, giving a nice little massage to those multifidi muscles on your sacrum. Good, take the knees back to center. Return your feet to hips distance apart. And now left ankle bone to your right thigh bone. Our bodies are balanced in different ways, so maybe you pick a different variation or the exact same one. See what feels good here on the neck, lifting or tucking your chin. And then when you settle, breathing into the hips, breathing into the low back. Relax your face, shoulders, and neck. Good, and then let's flex both feet for the last 3 breaths, increasing that stretch just a little bit. And gently release. Take the feet to the mat, ankles together, knees together, rock the legs out a little bit to each side. All right, let's end with Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly. So soles of the feet will come together and your knees are going to fall out to the side. Now if that's too big of a stretch, prop something underneath the knees. Block, blanket, rolled up towel, couch cushion. If you've got a block, remember you've got 3 heights to the blocks. So see which height best serves your body. And you don't need to use blocks or props if you don't want to. And then your arms could be at a low V. They could be out to a T. They could be in cactus arms, bending them at the elbows, but really make sure that the forearms and the backs of the hands rest on the floor so that you're not efforting here. You could also take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. So finding that position for the hands and the arms. Settling back into your breath. And then we're going to just do a little positive affirmation to support our nervous system. So for the next couple moments, keep repeating inside your mind, I am at peace within myself. I am at peace within myself. I am at peace within myself. Take the left hand to the heart, right hand to the belly. And 5 more rounds of breath with I am at peace within myself. One last breath. Slowly release. Take the hands to the outer parts of the knees to help the legs come back towards each other. Extend your legs out long. Reach the arms overhead, coming into a full body stretch. Yawning, releasing, letting go. And then we're going to transition to Shavasana, found relaxation. So you're welcome to be in a classic Shavasana position. You could be in just with knees bent. You can be in constructive rest where your feet are wider than the hips and the knees come to the center to touch and support each other. You could stay in reclined butterfly, or you could take your legs up a wall. So see which feels best to your body in this moment for your Shavasana. Adding socks or clothes if you could be more comfortable. Adding any pillows or blankets, eye bags. Returning back to your breath. Coming back to the balancing breath by inhaling for 3 counts and exhaling for 3 counts. Shavasana is an opportunity to allow us to integrate our practice into the body, mind, and spirit. With each breath, allowing that integration as you invite your whole self to come into a peaceful state of relaxation.
attention back to your breath. Begin to deepen and lengthen in the breath. Slowly inviting gentle movements to the body as you wiggle fingers and toes. Rotate wrists and ankles. Coming into a full body stretch, extending legs out long, reaching arms overhead. And then roll to your right side, use your lower arm to support your head, taking a couple more relaxing breaths on your side. And then using strength of hands, elbows, and arms, gently lifting yourselves up to a comfortable seated position. We'll close our practice today with one Om, placing your palms wherever is comfortable. Let's take a deep breath in to begin, please. Inhaling. Om. And bringing the hands to the heart center back to Anjali Mudra. We'll end by praying for peace with one Om, 3 Shantis and 3 pieces. Om, Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. May we carry it into our worlds. Namaste. Thank you. And on my payment links, my workshops, and my classes are on my website, KristenRubis.com. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.